Bad news for your man cave setup. You might need to clear space for a 2025 AFC West Championship banner because the Denver Broncos are looking like serious contenders. We're diving into the newly released NFL schedule, and honestly, it's tough to see the Broncos finishing with fewer than 11 wins this season. That might just be the new baseline. The schedule, it's looking fantastic. Even inside the organization, people are calling it beautiful, and they're not wrong. Let's break it down game by game, starting with Week 1. The Broncos host the Tennessee Titans. That's an ideal opener. Denver's home field advantage is no joke, especially early in the season. Plus, they'll likely face a rookie quarterback, which gives them a big edge. Rookie QBs taken first overall, excluding Caleb Williams, are 0-14 in their debut starts. This one's a confidence builder, almost like an extended preseason. Week 2, the Broncos hit the road to face the Indianapolis Colts. It's a short trip indoors and weather won't be a factor. More importantly, this matchup heavily favors Denver. Remember last year, Denver dominated that game, even though it got tighter than it should have. Jonathan Taylor nearly swung the momentum, but a costly fumble at the 1-yard line turned everything around. The Colts are decent, but Denver's improvement has been on another level. Fun fact, Denver even requested to play this one in Germany, but the Colts reportedly declined. That says a lot. Week 3 sends the Broncos on the road again, this time to face the Los Angeles Chargers. But let's be honest, SoFi Stadium rarely feels like a true home game for the Chargers. It's usually packed with orange and blue, and this year should be no different. This game could be personal for Sean Payton. The Broncos dropped both matchups to the Chargers last season. In the first, early in Bo Nix's rookie campaign, the defense took a hit right away with Patrick Surtain II going down with a concussion on the opening snap. The unit eventually settled in, and by the fourth quarter, Justin Herbert couldn't get anything going. That second loss, a bizarre 34-27 game filled with strange moments, including a controversial fair catch interference that led to a rare free kick from midfield. And despite Payton writing "run the ball" on his play sheet, the Broncos didn't stick to the ground game. But this year feels different. Denver made serious improvements during the offseason, while the Chargers have mostly stood still. If the Broncos execute, they'll come out of this matchup 3-0, and fans should be fired up. Week 4 brings the Broncos back home for a Monday Night Football showdown. That's already a big shift from last season when Denver had just one true national night game. In 2025, they've got 5 primetime appearances with a strong shot at a 6th depending on playoff implications. Their first big spotlight game? A home rematch against the Cincinnati Bengals. Last year, it took overtime for Denver to pull it out, with Bo Nix leading a clutch, game-tying drive capped off by a touchdown to Marvin Mims Jr. This time around, Denver looks even better. The defense now includes Talanoa Hufanga and Dre Greenlaw, and a healthy Riley Moss adds depth to the secondary. Meanwhile, the Bengals have dealt with plenty of offseason issues, especially on defense. All signs point to a 4-0 start, but then comes the real test. Week 5, a road trip to face the Philadelphia Eagles, the reigning Super Bowl champions. This one's tough. Denver struggled to stop the run last season, and now they'll have to deal with Saquon Barkley and one of the league's most physical offenses. It's a tall order. Expect this to be the Broncos' first loss, putting them at 4-1. From there, all signs point to Week 6 being an international game in London. If that holds, it saves Denver a lot of travel miles, nearly 2,000 fewer than flying back home first. After facing the Eagles, the Broncos head straight to London to take on the New York Jets in Week 6. While the schedule doesn't officially show back-to-back East Coast games, this setup, going from Philadelphia to London without returning home, offers a sneaky advantage. Fewer travel disruptions and a consistent routine could play in Denver's favor. This is the perfect bounce-back opportunity. The last time the Broncos faced the Jets, Bo Nix had one of his roughest games. The wet conditions made passing nearly impossible, both for him and for Aaron Rodgers. Still, Nix managed to throw his first career touchdown to Courtland Sutton in that game. This time, with better conditions and more experience, expect Denver to handle the Jets more decisively. Mark it down. Broncos move to 5-1. After London, things get tricky. The Broncos opted out of a bye week and instead return home to play right away in Week 7 against none other than Russell Wilson and the New York Giants. That's a brutal travel turnaround. Flying 20 hours and immediately preparing for an emotionally charged game is no small task. To be realistic, this one could slip away. It's a tough spot on the calendar, and Denver may drop to 5-2. Now, historically, skipping the bye after an international game hasn't been a death sentence. Of the 20 NFL teams that have done it, 12 came away with wins. So the odds aren't as stacked against the Broncos as some might think. Plus, the Giants haven't been particularly consistent, so it's not impossible. Still, it's a risky stretch. Week 8, the Broncos return home to face the Dallas Cowboys, and this one feels like a strong bounce-back opportunity. Denver matches up well. Javonte Williams will be back in full force, and Dallas's lack of a reliable run game plays right into the hands of Denver's aggressive defense. The secondary should be able to handle Dallas's receivers, and frankly, Dak Prescott hasn't proven to be a clutch performer in these types of matchups. Give the Broncos the win here. They're now 6-2. Next, they hit the road again to face the Houston Texans in Week 9. Houston had a tough year with injuries, but they're expected to bounce back in a big way. Their defense embarrassed Justin Herbert in last season's playoffs, picking him off 4 times. Still, there's reason for hope. The last time Denver faced Houston, Russell Wilson had 4 chances from the 4-yard line to win the game and came up empty, but that was then. This year's Broncos are a different team. They're deeper, better coached, and far more dangerous on both sides of the ball. If Denver plays clean football, they have a real shot at getting to 7-2 after this stretch. Even though the Broncos played the Texans close last season, I'm going to call this a surprise loss. Just trying to guard my heart here. So now I've got the Broncos dropping games to the Eagles, the Giants, and now the Texans. That puts Denver at 6-3 on the season. But here comes a perfect bounce-back opportunity. Thursday night football at home against the Las Vegas Raiders in Week 10. Short week games usually favor the home team. And the timing is perfect. The Broncos will be returning from Houston, and they'll catch the Raiders, who may already be out of the playoff race by then. I said earlier I prefer to play the Raiders late in the year because they often start strong, then fade. That's exactly what I expect to happen. So give me a win here. The Broncos get back on track at 7-3. Even better, this win gives Denver a mini bye week with 10 days of rest before a massive game. Week 11 versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Now here's the twist. The Chiefs will also be coming off a full bye week, so both teams will be rested, and neither has a big advantage. That's rare. But this is a game where everything's on the line. If the Broncos want to win the AFC West, they need this one. I think Sean Payton knows that. He'll throw the kitchen sink at Kansas City. The message to the team will be clear. Win this game and you get a full week off. The Broncos then go into their official bye in Week 12, and I love the timing. Last year's bye came in Week 14, which was way too late. Players were exhausted, but this year's bye falls at just the right time with plenty of season left to make a playoff push. Now, coming out of the bye, things get even more intense. Week 13 is another primetime game, this time on Sunday Night Football against the Washington Commanders. And this is one of the matchups I'm most excited about. Bo Nix versus Jaden Daniels. Daniels looked incredible last season. Remember what Washington did to the Detroit Lions? They looked legit. But long term, I think Bo Nix will be the better quarterback. This game could be a preview of some serious future AFC and NFC rivalries. The only downside, Washington is also coming off a bye week just like us, and that's frustrating. For the second year in a row, the Broncos lose the typical advantage of extra rest after the bye. Last year it happened too, and now it's happening again. Still, Denver will be rested, motivated, and at home in prime time. This one's going to be a battle. That loss to Washington? Yeah, that one stings too. Just to guard my heart again, I'll call it another L. So now I've got the Broncos at 4 losses on the season, but we bounce right back. Next up, it's a trip to Las Vegas to face the Raiders. I see this as a win. Denver gets the job done on the road. After that, it's a home game against the Green Bay Packers. I really like our matchup here. Denver's defense should handle that young Packers offense. Another win. Then we stay home for back-to-back home games, this time facing the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's the return of Travis Hunter to Denver, which will hype up the crowd. And I'm calling another Broncos victory. Now this next one is big. Christmas Day, a short week, Thursday game, and we're heading into Arrowhead to face the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs will also be on a short week, so it's an even playing field. And honestly, I think this is the year the Broncos finally take one in Arrowhead. I'm picking Denver to win and take control of the AFC West. That sets the stage for a massive final game. Week 18, Broncos versus Chargers in Denver. This game could decide the entire division. The NFL clearly set this up to be a meaningful matchup. The way this schedule ends shows that the league believes the Broncos are serious contenders in the AFC West. If all goes well, this game could be for the division crown. It's exactly the kind of season finale every fan dreams of. So let me know what you think in the comments. Right now, I'm predicting 4 total losses for the Broncos this season. That means my floor for this team is 11 or 12 wins, and if things break right, I could easily see a 13-win season. We've got a lot more coming this week, including deep dives into the Chiefs and Chargers schedules with official predictions for each. But for now, Broncos country, I'm hyped. Football's almost here. And don't forget, and we've got a lot more Bo Nix coverage coming soon.